A mochi moment from Tara, who writes, "For years, all my doctor said was eat less and move more, which never worked. But you know what does? The simple eating tips from my nutritionist at Mochi. And after losing over 30 pounds, I can say you're not just another GLP-1 source. You're a life source." Thanks, Tara. I'm Myra Ahmed, founder of Mochi Health. To find your Mochi moment, visit joinmochi.com.
Tara is a Mochi member compensated for her story.
It's true that some things change as we get older. But if you're a woman over 40 and you're dealing with insomnia, brain fog, moodiness, and weight gain, you don't have to accept it as just another part of aging. And with MIDI Health, you can get help and stop pushing through it alone. The experts at MIDI understand that all these symptoms can be connected to the hormonal changes that happen around menopause. And MIDI can help you feel more like yourself again. Many healthcare providers aren't trained to treat or even recognize menopause symptoms. MIDI clinicians are menopause experts. They're dedicated to providing safe, effective, FDA-approved solutions for dozens of hormonal symptoms, not just hot flashes. Most importantly, they're covered by insurance. 91% of MIDI patients get relief from symptoms within just 2 months. You deserve to feel great. Book your virtual visit today at joinmidi.com. That's joinmidi.com.
So we're back with Laura Brand, serial killer whisperer, and we have two people from Vacaville who are in prison for murder. Mm-hmm. And so we're gonna talk to them today, and we're gonna talk to them about the disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley, which is a very popular case right now because it's on Netflix. Happened in 1998. Mm-hmm. And for people who don't know about that case, it involved a cruise ship, and she just vanished. She was there with her family, and she was hanging out with her family, and then one night she just vanished out of thin air.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask these convicted killers what they think may have happened on this, because there's no answers right now. The case has been going on since 1998. FBI has been involved. Mm-hmm. There's been rumors about her possibly being trafficked, human trafficked. There's been potential sightings of her on different islands. I think Curacao was the island that they were visiting.
Yeah.
She's been spotted on other islands in, I think, Barbados in the Caribbean. And some...
So, yeah, we'll get into all of it. We have Junior, who's been on before. We have X.
Yep.
And X, we have a viewer who knows who you are.
Uh-oh. Someone figured him out, huh?
We got a detective out there.
Oh, a detective. A real detective or just a listener who's a detective?
A listener who's a detective.
Okay. What did they reach out to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't really reach out, but I saw it on the comments, and I was like, oh, wow.
Wow.
Good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
But yeah, so I'll fill. How much of the background did you guys get about the Amy Bradley case?
Just that she disappeared on a cruise ship, and 98, and no one knows what happened.
Yeah,
and it was in the middle of the cruise, and she was like hikes or something, and she was with her brother, her parents, and no family or friends besides them. Mm-hmm. And she went to a party the night before for drinking. Dad woke up in the morning, thought he saw her legs or something. Then about 6 o'clock or something, he heard like some noise he couldn't identify, and he thought she'd left to get some coffee or something. So we went around looking for her, and no one has seen her since. All right,
so I'll back up a little bit. Oh. So. Yeah, Amy was 23. Her brother was 21. Their family had won this cruise ship trip. I think it was through her father's work, and that's why they're all kind of crammed together in one, room there. But they actually went out of the cruise ship on San Juan. So Puerto Rico is when they docked and went on. Then they went to Aruba. They had a great day in Aruba. Boarded back on. And they went to this formal dinner night, and these famous pictures of Amy in this black dress with her brother. It's from that night. So it was after that, there was this big poolside, I guess, dance off or gathering, and it was like everybody was on the cruise, went to it. And her brother was there, her parents were there, and her brother actually won a limbo contest and like had this big, crown on. And he said in the documentary he put it on Amy. And the person filming for the cruise line who did like all the videography, he actually said, Amy and her brother were kind of like footloose, like all eyes were on them, winning these contests. They were just kind of the life of the party. So her parents left early, went back to the room, and then Amy and her brother went back to the room. She wasn't feeling too well, kind of seasick. So she went out on the balcony. Now, Amy didn't like heights, but she was okay to sleep out on the balcony. And her father woke up at 5:30 approximately in the morning and saw her feet. And he was like, okay.
Llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
He said, okay, they're safe. And he went back to bed. But it was shortly after 6 o'clock, something woke him up. He doesn't know what woke him up. And that's when he got up and saw Amy was not out there, laying there. And her cigarettes and lighter were gone. She was a smoker. And, they don't go into this in the documentary, but I always wondered if there was a smoking deck. Did she go out to get a coffee? Maybe, everything on a cruise ship is going to be, the restaurants aren't open yet, but there's usually like a little coffee stand open. If she went to go get a coffee, maybe have a cigarette on a smoke deck, possibly.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
If her cigarettes and lighter weren't there. But her father woke up, shortly after 6. This is a very short time span. He went out looking for her, thinking she went to get coffee. On the cruise, and that's when he went to every place and he could not find her anywhere.
Yeah. And then the one interesting person that I thought was interesting is this guy Alistair Douglas, nicknamed Yellow. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they called him Yellow, but he was a cruise member, like not a cruise, but he worked on the cruise line, so he was an employee of the cruise line. I don't know what his specific job was, but he obviously was interacting with her. And was basically, according to reports, was probably the last person to see her.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of video footage of him dancing with her that night.
Yeah. And what did he look like? I didn't see the documentary. Did they have photographs of him?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did he look like? Was he a big guy, small guy? Was he black, white?
From the Caribbean. I think he was from, I forget what island, but he was an island local and shorter, but his daughter comes forward later about him, actually, to the family. I don't know if I should jump ahead to there or
well, let's get these guys to weigh in real quick. When women go missing, and I'll go to X first. When women go missing, what's the first thing that comes to a killer's mind?
Well, you want to cover up your trail, and you want to make sure that nothing can lead back to you. The fact that she didn't take the fact that the cigarettes were gone, that tells me she didn't fall over. That had nothing to do with it. She went around somewhere in the boat, and she probably struck up a conversation or saw somebody that she knew from the night before. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, on a cruise ship, don't the cruise members, they share suites? There's like 4 or 6 of them together in a suite.
Sometimes, I guess it depends on what rank you are, but yeah.
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 Okay. That tells me that it was either an individual that worked on the cruise ship where she might have been befriended the night before, or someone she met before, and her fate, whatever it may have been, was somewhere else on that boat.
Yeah.
If somebody had seen her smoking the night before, could have been waiting for her in the morning, knowing she would come out for a cigarette to go up to the smoking lounge or deck?
No, because That's assuming you knew she was going to get up at 6 in the morning to have a cigarette.
Well, after a night of drinking, you would.
No, it's not like when you go to a woman's shelter, when you hang out with them in the morning and you're waiting to pick up a girl just by holding up a lit cigarette. No, you don't know when they're going to be coming out of the suite.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just saying when you drink heavily, usually you're up early and you will go out looking for at least coffee or a smoke. If you're a smoker something. I don't think that's a far stretch to say maybe
or
they
the person
knew.
could have said, when you get up in the morning, stop on by and we'll go get breakfast together.
Yeah, we don't know what conversations they had with this guy Yellow or Alistair Douglas. We do know that he was interviewed by the authorities. I think the I don't know whether it was there on Curacao, whether it was the Netherlands authorities. They did polygraph him, and he came out smiling apparently, and said he passed, and he was like joking about it, which I thought was interesting.
Not that hard to pass a polygraph.
We have a third killer coming. Hold on.
Whoa, it's getting crowded.
Hello?
Hello.
Omega?
How are you? Yes, ma'am.
I have we're recording right now for the podcast. We have I have
Okay.
no, stay on. We want your weigh in.
Okay, so X, you were telling me that it's easy to pass the polygraph. Explain that.
I passed a polygraph before. If you know what to do.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
It's not that hard, especially if you practice. If you practice and you do your relaxation techniques, and you pretty much know what they're going to ask ahead of time, and keep the same train of thought, you can pass a polygraph.
Most sociopaths can. It's very easy for them, actually.
Yeah. No, I remember Gary Ridgway. The Green River Killer passed a few times. So
yeah, they can. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Omega.
you just get into, it's like a Le Mans. It's just like Le Mans. You practice so you don't think of the pain. You practice so you don't get excited.
These
You
guys
stay
don't
calm.
feel
That's
anyway.
the key to everything.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to spike when they're,
Yeah.
questioned.
Yeah.
Omega, we're talking about the Amy Bradley case. I don't know if you know it. She disappeared off a cruise ship in 1998.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I heard the name. I remember the name. I heard the name.
Okay, so
Oh, damn.
So she disappeared. So she was out dancing. Her dad gets up at 5:30. He sees her legs out on the balcony, and then he gets up again at 6, and he can't find her. She's nowhere at the coffee stations. He goes to every place. Her cigarettes are gone. She's nowhere in sight.
And your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So, this is when he wakes up his wife and their son, and he goes, they can't find Amy anywhere. And she was just here at 5:30, and now she's gone. And they search the boat. I mean, they're going to, all the restaurants, and then they go to, the cruise line, and they're saying, she's gone. We can't find her. And it's a big boat. It's a big Royal Caribbean boat. I think it was 1,000-foot boat. And the captain, if you watch the documentary too, I mean, he's just like, what could I do? I still had all these other guests. I'm still going to dock the boat. And they were begging the captain, don't dock the boat, because we want to search for Amy. And I found that really weird, when you're in charge of everyone's safety on that boat and you're still like, you know what? I'm still going to dock it. These people are still on vacation. And a family is begging you not to dock it because anybody could be taken off in a suitcase. And they were saying in the dumpsters or when they take the trash out of the boat. I mean, there's many ways to.
A boat carrier.
Right. To take a human
carrier.
being off of that cruise ship.
They dump a lot of trash. Where did the cruise ship originate from?
San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow. With the Puerto Rican crew?
I think it was just a Caribbean crew.
It was a Caribbean crew. So it was international.
Yeah. And the ship was, what was the ship? Norwegian.
Yeah, it was a Norwegian. It was Rhapsody of the Seas, a Royal Caribbean cruise liner, and it was Norwegian that was based out of.
Mm-hmm. And the family was from Virginia.
Okay.
So the captain makes a
No, I
choice.
agree with you. It's like, why dock a ship if anything can be taken off?
Right. But they dock the boat and everybody gets off, because everybody's still on vacation. So this is when they actually call in the authorities, and they call in the National Guard, they call in the
You have
FBI.
60 seconds remaining.
And this is where they actually start doing the water searches, because they thought maybe she did fall overboard. Because I guess there was a rumor of her diving. She was a good swimmer,
She's a lifeguard. She was a lifeguard.
Yeah, of her diving overboard to swim. And, they said if she had fallen overboard or whether she dove in, there was going to be a part of her. So even if a shark got to her, there was going to be something washed ashore or something they would find of her. And they found nothing. And they searched miles out from that island.
Yeah. How long did they search for?
I think it was days.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the
After a day and a half, too, they usually pop back up.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's what's interesting about when I watched the doc. I don't know if most people caught it. They said, well, we did a Charlie search. And they go, what a Charlie search is when every crew member searches every inch of the boat. But when they do that is every crew member searches their own cabin.
So it's self-reporting.
Right.
So they're policing themselves.
Exactly. It's like, oh, so wait, okay, so you're searching every inch of the boat, but you're searching your own cabin. When this could be somebody, a part of the crew, who's a part of it. You know what I mean? So how is that even a search, really?
Yeah. I have a question for any of you guys. Have any of you guys know anything about human trafficking? Have you ever were involved in that at all?
X was.
Do any of us know anybody involved in that?
Yeah, no. X, are you still on X?
He might be calling back, but X, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is that him?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. So switchboard.
Really?
Hold on, guys. Because if he was involved with that, I'm curious to get his perspective.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, but yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah. Crazy case, though. I mean, because the Caribbean is an easy place to get trafficked.
Oh, totally.
All right. So tell me a little bit about, before they call back, what X's human trafficking experience is.
So he's only given me like bits and pieces of it. But it was LA, and it is about trafficking women. And he talks about horse stables where, some of these, it's actually going to play into Amy Bradley, because the first thing I thought was when the Barbados woman said, can I go see the children? And I've known this about human trafficking even before X told me.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they'll hold the child or children that, they might have over them for compliance. And
so they have a child based upon their human trafficking experiences, and then they keep the child and they hold that as ransom to keep them in check.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Drugs, children. I mean, it's a dark world.
Yeah. Very dark.
Very dark world. And he's told me about a place in LA with the children, doing that with the children.
Because he was involved in the porn industry too, so I'm sure that's...
Yeah. I've asked him where in LA. I've been trying to get more information. You ever see those help me signs in LA?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Southlight? I always think about that when he was telling me those stories.
It's horrible.
All right. So I think you hung up before, but Rob was asked, well, I'll let you ask.
Okay. Yeah. So this when I read this article about this case, it reeked of human trafficking. Do you think that she was possibly human trafficked?
No. Yeah, you know why? Because my experience in that industry, okay, I can only speak for like the Hollywood area, okay, Hollywood and Ohio actually. But when it comes to grabbing girls and luring them away to do certain things, or let's just say, okay, you remember she was on the boat for a number of days. She had to come off the boat somehow, okay? So usually if you want to traffic somebody off, okay, she is going to be trying to squirm her way back to her parents, and she's not going to be too drugged up to walk up the boat. Now, you got to remember, if she's walking off the boat with a crew member, people at the gangplank, the gangway, they're going to know that they're going to know that cruise person, and they're also going to be checking to see who's coming off the boat because the girl's missing.
You're not thinking about the very obvious. You can put someone in a suitcase so easy. Drug them and put them in a suitcase.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, but you got to remember, okay, that person would have been kept on the boat alive for days and then stuck in a trunk and drugged up and stuff like that.
What are you talking about, days? You could drug someone and put them in a suitcase right away.
But that's, if you're going to do that, you're not going to do it in the middle of the cruise. You're going to get that person at the...
But what if that was the island they wanted to get her at?
So can I say something?
Okay.
Sure. Go ahead, Junior.
So if I'm a person that's going to do something of this nature and I'm a crew member, I would not do it until I knew I was going to arrive at my destination. And so I had an easy way to get the person off because I knew where I was going. So if the person did it, they knew to do it right before, the night before, the morning of, them arriving at this island. Secondly, they can easily put some date rape stuff in somebody, and like Laura said, put them in a suitcase. Or, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of cruise ships have separate doors and planks for crew members to leave and they do visitors. And they have a door that opens on the side of the boat to dump trash.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So if someone was slick enough, they could put someone in a suitcase or even just date rape, drug them, and open the door and push it into a boat that's sitting on the side of the dock. If it's sex trafficking, you'd have a partner pick the person up. So it could be easily done if you're aware of all these traps and doors in these ships.
Well, who's saying they didn't? That they didn't put them out one of the crew doors? I mean, they could have put her in a suitcase.
Yeah, but they could have also put her in a compartment somewhere in the ship because they have so many hiding places there. That's my question: is did the police go on the boat with a dog to sniff for her trail?
I don't know. Did they, Laura? Did they say that in the doc?
I went on way later. After the Charlie search, pretty much it was after a crew search. It was kind of a very sloppy, very, very kind of like a Karen Reed type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like well after, I would say just like Karen Reed, it's hard. Yes, but no, because there was so much.
I mean, I guess the jurisdiction of the boat, because it's so weird. I mean, the captain is the main. He basically controls everything. He's like the officer on board. But like if you're in the water in the Caribbean, you're in between islands.
Right.
It's it's international law, and it's very, very murky. So you don't have like one governing law for that. So I can see how that could be the search of that.
Did play a part because the cruise was Norwegian. It actually went to their law technically.
Mm-hmm.
On open seas, it's a very murky because you're on a cruise, you're on open water and different islands, but I mean, the FBI got involved, local authorities got involved, the National Guard got involved, but again, everybody kind of came in later.
Yeah, I can't remember when the FBI got involved, but I think it was like almost like a year.
No, I think they came pretty
quick.
Yeah, because they contacted the embassy pretty quickly.
Okay.
But by then, the crew had already done their search, the Charlie search, and by then, and everybody had already left the boat, and any trace of her was kind of gone by that point.
Yeah.
Let me just throw this out there. Being in that type of business when it comes to prostitutes,
Mm-hmm.
what advantage financially would that girl could have bought you?
Well, should I
Not
move on?
a damn thing.
Oh,
No, listen to me. If it was a younger girl,
Then
a young
23?
child, or a young boy, I could see that. But when the person is like that, they would have just grabbed them off the beach. It would have been less hassle. And we got to remember, if you're sex trafficking somebody, there's only so many areas that people are going to know, the locals are going to know, the authorities are going to know, and eventually someone's going to run into her. So that's why I personally think she got whacked on the boat by a crew member that knew everything, and she went to meet him in the morning, and the person, I guarantee, 9 times out of 10, I bet she was a smoker. And this is why. Because if you're going to do something, that's a great ruse to get somebody to come over, say, hey, let's go smoke a cigarette in the morning, we'll go get breakfast together. Okay? If you're going to be selective to getting somebody, you're going to want somebody that you can relate to, and smoking a cigarette with them and getting a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, you better believe it.
all right. Well,
Putting somebody in a suitcase that's that age, no, you would do that only to a young child, because then you can make a lot more money.
now, but
over
wait,
the,
I
over
think,
the years.
what about this, X? Because there were photographs of her that night. Polaroids were taken from like the party and stuff that were taken just of her, right? What if one of the crew members was a trafficker, just hypothetically, right? And what if she was the type they were just happened to be looking for? That would be a reason to want her. That would be the reason those photographs are missing, wouldn't it?
And she was 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was another woman, Jennifer Kessie, in Florida, in Orlando. Same kind of MO. She was taken out right out of her apartment.
Yeah.
And, after we worked in that case for a while with the family, and the father's was convinced that she was trafficked, because, it's so you can get, Orlando's an international airport. Florida, you can get anywhere very quickly outside of the US very quickly. And they still haven't found her.
Yeah. But, even before you guys even talk, I just want to go into the sightings that have been.
I was just going to say, because with Jennifer Kessie, they were
going into more of the story before you guys even weigh in, because there's more pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah, because with Jennifer Kessie, there were sightings later too.
Yeah.
And this now we have, and guys, they had several sightings of her on different islands, and one of which was at a brothel. And the sighting was by a naval guy, a U.S. naval guy, and he didn't come forward right away because he didn't want to get in trouble, because he was on liberty, on leave, and he was pretty sure he saw her.
And I just want to add, for context for you guys too, is she had very distinctive tattoos, and all of these people who have come forward always talk about her tattoos. She had a Tasmanian devil holding a basketball on her shoulder blade. A very distinctive, I think it was a salamander, and I don't know what the third one was, but very distinctive tattoos. So the people coming forward, a lot of them talk about these tattoos, and she said her name even to a couple of them too. But I'll let you continue so you can tell them about the sightings.
Oh yeah, like I said, there was one was in a brothel, and then there was 2 Canadian divers in 1998 in Curacao, who also said they saw her as well. And they also said the person that was with her resembled the guy Douglas, who was called Yellow, who was with her on the boat.
And the woman in Barbados?
And Barbados? I don't remember the one in Barbados. I just remember the one I have right here is the Curacao, and then maybe that was in Barbados, the divers.
No, I think there's a third one. There was another woman on vacation in Barbados, and she was in the bathroom and she heard a woman
Yes,
with
Barbados.
men, and she was like, "That's strange." And she came out of the bathroom stall and she was like, she saw it was an American girl, and she's like, "What's your name?" And she said, "Amy." And she's very soft, like looking down. She just thought there was trouble. She was a mother.
Yeah.
And she said, "Where are you from?" And she said West Virginia. And Amy's from Virginia. And the next thing she heard was Amy asking the men if she could go see the children that was in Barbados. The Navy SEALsman saw her at a brothel. He remembers the tattoos, and the Canadian couple who also saw her on the beach, which I think was that a few days after, Rob? Was it
the Barbados one was in 2005.
Recorded.
The other ones were in 1998 and 1999. So it was a big gap in between.
Yeah, but they've all seen these very distinctive tattoos. And then there was a private eye who was hired. I don't know if he was hired. Yeah, he was hired by the family. He actually found these adult pictures that look like Amy. And they showed them on the dock. And they're very risque photos. They were on an adult website for, sex in, South America.
Was there a voice? Was there a voice or just photographs?
No. And the ones on the adult website found, the FBI did analyze them and said the facial features match Amy. And, if you look at them, the nose is very distinct. The hairline.
So good, so good, so good.
Ready to rack to school and save big? Get to your Nordstrom Rack store today for thousands of deals from just $20.
Because I want to look fresh.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
I got a new backpack.
Score everyone's favorite denim, sneakers, boots, and activewear from Nike, Levi's, Steve Madden, Madewell, and Free People. Great brands, great prices. Everyone's got a reason to rack. Shop Nordstrom Rack and make it the best school year ever.
This episode is brought to you by the world's first reposado from Tequila Herradura. Made with slow-cooked, hand-harvested agave sealed into oak barrels and aged 11 months. Before being enjoyed in your glass. Experience the world's first reposado. Tequila Herradura. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Tequila Herradura. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Herradura is a registered trademark. Copyright 2025 Brown-Forman Corporation.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Mom and Dad, the school supplies you buy me this year will mostly end up in my mouth. Maybe shop low prices for school at Amazon, so I don't eat up all your money. Just something to chew on. Amazon. Spend less, smile more.
It does. I mean, she has a lot of makeup on and she's, posing provocatively. But it does. The facial structure, everything about it, it does look like Amy.
Yeah. It seemed like when she was on the cruise, the waiter, Douglas, as well as several other crew members, were very infatuated with her.
I was just going to say, when these pictures that were supposedly taken of her and all that stuff,
mm-hmm.
Why would you keep somebody who's looking exactly the same as she did when she disappeared?
Well, she looks...
You would want to change her looks.
No, she does a little bit. I mean, she has very short hair, and then it's longer hair in the photos, and she's face full of makeup. I mean, caked on.
So it looks similar, but it does look different.
It looks similar, but it gives you pause. Right, Rob? How would you describe that?
Yeah.
It makes you go, wait, is that her?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Well, X, real quick, since you were involved in this industry, one of the things that Laura brought up while you guys were calling back was the fact that there's a lot of times these women that were trafficked would get pregnant, and then when they would have the baby, they would use that baby as a way to control the person. Do you recall anything like that happening in like your experience?
Oh yeah, I can tell you about breeding farms. I told this to Laura about a year and a half ago. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Are they used? You know, the children are used as a form of control for the women.
I think we lost them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that 60?
No comment.
That is crazy. I mean, it's like I've never heard of that before, and you know, it's like I don't know. Did you see the movie Sound of Freedom?
No, Rob told me about that. The other Rob, but yeah.
Yeah. You got to watch that movie, and apparently it's a true story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, based on a true story, but it's I don't think we realize. I mean, people don't realize that there's like every year there's 600,000 people that go missing.
Oh yeah. I actually have a really good friend of mine who I nicknamed Liam Neeson because his daughter was trafficked, and he hunted the traffickers for 9 days and found her. We should actually have him on the show. I mean, his story is beyond. Yeah,
let's have him on the show. I mean, that's like it's people don't realize how easy it is.
Oh, you have no idea. He recovered her and another 12-year-old girl. His daughter was 13, and he goes, I didn't sleep, I just hunted them. And that's a big thing is like you hear these people about Amy. It's like they move them around so much and these girls are just drugged or they have the kids, hanging over them.
It's crazy. Well, that was like Drew Kessie too. He didn't waste any time because he knew his daughter. And when she didn't respond to him, she goes, there's something wrong. And he was like, he had her on the news that next day.
You have to. You have to. All right. X.
Hello.
Junior. Somebody?
I'm here. I don't know where X is.
He's probably calling back. Do you remember X talking about the breeding farms? Were you there for some of those conversations?
Talking about the breeding farm?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he talked to me about that stuff in person, but I've also heard him talking to Laura about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there a lot of guys in the inside that have been involved in something like that?
Well, I don't know if there's been a lot of guys. I mean, that's not like a common crime. More common crimes are robberies and murders and other like drug offenses. But human trafficking and bombing people is kind of a specialized crime, so to say. And very few are into that. So I wouldn't say there's a lot of people there for that.
Yeah, because they're not going to talk about that in prison.
Got it.
I mean, they would be a target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, X. So we want to know more about the breeding farms.
Well, let me just say this too. What did this particular girl bring that I couldn't get from a tourist on one island, then take her by boat or plane and take her to another island so they couldn't follow it and be looking at the wrong island? What made her so significant? Like I said, if she was younger, then she would be worth money. If she was a young boy or a young girl, then you have years that some people will pay top dollar for that type of stuff. So when you're saying these people are being trafficked and stuff like that, you can get a local girl or you can get a tourist from another island and do that to her. You're not going to risk somebody, an international conspiracy to take somebody off that's not, that's not significant as, Jane Doe, from a certain state. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
I know.
If you're looking for an Asian girl, if you're looking for, let's say, an Asian girl, you're going to abduct an Asian female, okay? And that's maybe what the market is. But the younger the person is, you're going to get them because you can use them more and they're worth more money. What did this girl have that the other girls on the island or tourists or drug addicts that you can get a lot easier without that type of stuff.
Well, first of all,
so
she was from the States. Second of all, what made your victim so significant?
I'm going to get hung up here in a minute, so I'm going to have to call
answer
right back.
Answer that. What made your victim so significant for them to be chosen?
Because they were young and they were runaways.
Okay.
So you had years of getting him pregnant multiple times.
And she was 23.
If you wanted a redhead, or you wanted an Asian girl, or you wanted a black girl, or you wanted a blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, or a brunette girl, that's what you did. You were selling babies.
And she was 23,
and after
Caucasian.
3 or 4 of them, and after 3 or 4 times, you just put them in a snuff film or park them out. It's not that difficult.
Park them out?
Yeah. Do you know how much you can get for a cornea? Do you know how much you can get for someone's liver?
Actually,
it's a complete industry. It is a complete industry that you should talk about one time on your show. Look at the skin grafts. I'm telling you, and the whole little city is in on it. The cops, the sheriffs, everything. Everybody's in on it because everyone's making money.
You know, I was just watching a video about what he's saying right before we started recording, where same thing, the human trafficking and then the organ trafficking.
Yeah.
Something very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
In China, when they execute supposed inmates, they specifically arrest people and try them and put them on China's death row or in prison. And they seek these people out because of certain body parts or certain health conditions. And they have a place behind a Chinese prison. They take the body organs out of bodies and they wrap the bodies up in carpet and leave them out in the back behind the prison for the prison trash trucks to take them away. This is a documented, factual fact that has been presented on Frontline talking about China's prisons and body farming, body parts.
So, X, what did they do with the children?
Did we lost him, I think.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, he said he's going to call back. This is crazy.
I know.
You know, it's like, I mean, I don't think people really understand how much human trafficking is going on, especially, now, after the border has been open for like 4 years and we had all those millions of immigrants coming by and there's so many people that are unaccounted for. A lot of them are young kids,
right,
who got separated from their families. And I can't imagine that. And, they find stuff all the time, even in nice neighborhoods in like a big house, they'll find kids chained up in the, in the basement. There was a one not too far in California where they found a group of kids that were chained up in the basement, and they weren't young either. And they were there for a long time. They were like teenagers.
It's wild.
It's so bizarre. I just don't know how the human mind and the soul can kind of justify all of that.
For money. I know the motivation is money. I know it's.
Well, it's money, it's power, it's sex. It's all driven by, we're dealing with
But to do it to another human being,
it's slavery. It's modern day slavery.
It is.
People don't think it goes on, but it goes. It's happening right now.
I know.
On a mass scale. That's one thing that the new FBI has been really focusing on, or at least they say they're focusing on, is like human trafficking and also the Native Americans, because they have it really bad.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of trafficking going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere where there's poverty and.
Well, that's why I almost wondered about Amy. Her parents had won the cruise. Is if maybe they thought her family didn't have that much money.
But still, anybody in a cruise, they probably thought had money. When we are a ship worker living in the Caribbean, I mean, there's a lot of poverty in those Caribbean islands. I mean, outside those resorts, and we go to Jamaica all the time, and like we never leave the resort because when you leave the resort, it's dangerous and it's poverty stricken and it's it's sad, and they tell you, it says don't leave the resort. We can't guarantee your safety, and you stick out like a sore thumb in those small islands, and if you have and everybody just assumes you're a millionaire if you're from the States.
Of course, they do. Yeah.
I mean,
when I was going to, God, it was 2020. I was in Vacaville, right off of Puerto Rico, and the cartel was driving the police cars around.
Yeah. Well, even in the waters there, they still have pirates.
Yeah.
I mean, we were out there diving on a show. And, the guy that had the dive boat, he had a semi-automatic rifle in the boat. And I go, what do you need that for? He goes, you going to shoot the fish or something like that? And he goes, no, that's in case some pirates, they'll just come and, come and take our boat. My boat's worth them, $500,000. They're going to come and take it. They'll take it and no one's going to stop them.
Yeah.
Because they'll just go to another island and they'll sell it. So it's still happening, especially down like off the coast of Venezuela.
It's very lawless over there. I mean, that whole area. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, did we lose them all?
I don't know. Do we have one on?
I'm here.
Oh,
okay. So, Junior, what do you think could possibly have happened to her?
So, I have an idea. So the night before, she was dancing and hanging out with this guy, Yellow. So if I'm a cruise employee and I like this girl and I have some bad intentions in mind, I can maybe I don't even have bad intentions in my mind, but I can tell her, hey, I can get us free breakfast. Or I know when we get to this island, there's a good breakfast place. I'll take you there. I'll meet you at this time. So he can easily lure her out of her cabin without even anyone knowing. And once he gets her out, if we give her a date rape drug, he can get her off the ship by the employee's exit. And he can easily hand her off to someone else. And it might be a body farm, or it might be, some people in human trafficking. But my problem is I don't know if they brought dogs on her to sniff. But my second thing is eyewitnesses. Because I've had eyewitnesses in my case. And every eyewitness was wrong. So eyewitness testimony or eyewitness sightings are very, very fallible. So I wouldn't put too much weight in certain sightings.
Well, I disagree with that because I really disagree with that because she had extremely identifiable, markers on her body. I mean, when you see her tattoos, these aren't tattoos that everybody has. I mean, they're in the shoulder with the Tasmanian devil holding up a basketball. How many chicks have that tattoo? You know what I'm saying? So I
get what you're saying, but you have to think about this too. What got around to the news or got around the ship? Like, oh, this girl, remember the girl last night?
It wasn't that much publicized down there. It wasn't publicized down there, though. During the time, actually, a lot of the witnesses came forward after they saw a show like Dr. Phil, like months later.
Yeah, and we're talking 1998, and we didn't have the massive communication that we do now, the 24/9, and we, to a degree, we had it, but not to the level that we are now.
To the level, no, I don't see that's. And she had 3 tattoos. She had a very it was a salamander, but it was very, if you saw the tattoo, it's distinct. These are very distinct markers that these witnesses are coming forward with. So
did they have her parents on the documentary?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What were they like? What did they think happened to her?
They think she was trafficked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. From the pictures and from the sightings.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Another thing you got to remember is not only did these witnesses come forward seeing the same sightings with the tattoos, they all talked about her being with 2 men who seemed aggressive with her, who seemed controlling, which all aligns with trafficking. And it's every single document and count is with 2 men. So it's almost like she has 2 men with her.
Yeah.
Account with the tattoos.
Well, there was 2 men surrounding her on the boat.
Right.
The photographer and the waiter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they were sizing her up.
Yeah.
Horrible story. I feel bad. I mean, bad for her family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a parent's worst nightmare.
It is. It really. I can't even imagine.
And the father who won the trip probably has the most internal guilt that he's punishing himself over, because if it wasn't for him winning the trip or his work, he probably goes to work hating work every day now because it all relates around his work and him winning the prize. Mm-hmm. So he's probably internally taking out on himself and disgusted with being at work, seeing his boss or whoever helped him win the prize. So
right.
I know it probably really sucks for his family.
And as far as the witnesses go, I really can't see, even if the Navy guy came out later about seeing her, I can't see a man in the military, and I can't see a housewife, from Barbados who had a daughter her age named Amy lying about these accounts or seeing those tattoos or seeing this girl.
Yeah.
It's not about lying. It's about, I don't know. There's a deep psychology and false.
I get that, but when there's identifiable markers, that's where I'm like, pay attention.
No, and I'm not saying that every one of the eyewitnesses is lying. I'm just saying you got to narrow down which ones could potentially be, because there could be some supposed eyewitnesses.
And they have. No, the FBI has. The FBI has chosen the 3 that they're looking at the most. There's been a couple.
Yeah, and people come out at different times too, because
right.
We've worked on a bunch of cases where people come out like years. We're talking 10 years after, because they were afraid to come out. They were afraid to say something. They were in a point in their life where they weren't in the best position, whether they were involved with drugs and they were involved with other people. But then they turn their life around. They have a family. They found Jesus or the Lord, and then they realize, I need to say something now. This has been weighing on me for a long time. Right. And, we've just had that recently happening on one case. And so you don't know when people are going to come on. People see things and they don't say something, and then something clicks in their brain. And the woman in 2005 is interesting because there's, we're talking like 6-7 years after she goes missing. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure there was nothing publicly about it. I mean, I don't remember this case when this happened earlier. So, I mean, I'm pretty in tune with true crime cases. When I saw them do this, on Netflix, I mean, I was surprised because it was such an old case, but I never heard for it before. Never heard of it before.
I had seen a couple of specials.
I believe I've seen it. I believe I've seen the case before. I just don't remember actual details, because there's a TV show called Cruise Ship Killers, and I believe I saw this case on there a while ago. And if I remember correctly, I think that there were sightings of this guy Yellow bringing her, or not bringing her, but being with her off the ship at little huts that you could buy like souvenirs from. And that was the last place that they supposedly had a solid sighting of the girl.
That's the one Rob was just talking about, yeah.
To me, that seems like a credible sighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one I would believe, because that one's like right after the next morning. And I can see the guy telling Amy, hey, I know a good place to go have breakfast, or I know a cool place we can go hang out. And the girl taking off with him, thinking nothing of it, that he's been there before. He knows the island. He's a good tour guide, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And he can take me to cool places. So I'm going to go with him. And it happens.
Yeah, I mean, the likelihood that she's still alive is pretty kind of, I'd be surprised unless she's kind of assimilated herself, because now, I mean, she's in her early 50s. Yeah. So it's not like something that, unless she's just, and maybe she just so screwed up at this point that she just realized she can't go back home. Because that's what we thought with Jennifer Kessie as well. We felt like, she was trafficked, and then she's basically assimilated and accepted her life as a trafficked person. And, because it's same with her. I mean, I think she's probably in her 40s now. So it's like, what do you do? Where do you go back after your life has been, and you don't know how damaged their brains are and psychologically tortured. I mean, how do you recover from all of that? It's like you're being imprisoned for a long time. That's a good point. The Stockholm syndrome. You start falling in love with your captor.
That's another thing too. All right, we got X back on about the reading.
Okay.
We're going to end it.
End it on.
To be continued.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. It's all right.
They even get the girls hooked on drugs so that they become more dependent and more, unaware of the environments or where they've been transported from one place to the next. So they don't know where to run because they don't know what house they're at, and they're under the influence. They can't get away without having the dependency of the drugs, and they're in another country. They don't know what to do. And like Rob said, some of these girls probably feel so broken and so ashamed. They think to themselves, how can I return to my family after I've been a sex slave for 5, 10, 15 years, if they even last that long?
Well, yeah, and also their captors are basically providing everything for them. They probably don't have any money. It's almost like a cult where they can't leave.
Yes.
Yeah. X, what do you think about that?
I just came back on.
We were talking about how if they were these women, if she was trafficked, that at this point in time, she would probably be so damaged mentally and probably almost like Stockholm syndrome, where she's basically accepted and fallen in love with her captor, that there's no reason for her to even try to leave now.
How many years has it been?
27.
Yeah, I think they're all drawing on straws.
I agree with you.
Guys, I'm just going to cut you off because I don't want the victims' families to hear what some of the stuff you guys are saying, just in case they're listening.
Oh, yeah, I understand, but I'm just saying my opinion.
But I would, no, I know. I just want to cut it off to be respectful. But I would like to say,
you have 60 seconds remaining.
X, would you like to do another dive with Rob and I about the breeding farms that you have experience with?
I'll tell you what I've seen. That's all I can do.
Okay.
I told you that about a year and a half ago.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's all the time we have for now, but we appreciate your insight and us going through this.
Your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Did we lose him?
All right.
No, they're up.
All right. So until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Have a good night. Have a good night.
It's always weird when they're so pleasant at the end of the call. It's like, good night. Have a good night. Just live from Vacaville.
Right, the prison. Usually it's death row. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're basically on death row.
He has told me some stories with the breeding farm.
Yeah.
That's
just so friggin' scary. That's like the worst nightmare in the world. It's like, you sit there when you put your head down on your pillow at night and thinking about, everyone should just pray that they've never, ever had to experience something like that. I hope to God no one ever does that's listening to this. We've dealt with a lot of sorrow and covering these cases, and it's, it doesn't get any easier to kind of hear this stuff, but people need to know that it exists. And, and the fact that we just talked to someone who witnessed this stuff, and it's sad, it's crazy, and it's, it makes me want to pray when I hear stuff like that.
It's a darker world than most people understand. Really.
Yeah. But anyway, that was interesting. I'm gonna take some time editing this one. Everybody talking over, and I don't know what happened to Omega. I think he just gave up.
I think you did too. I think you guys.
His room's too crowded. But
he was calling to tell me about how to do my pumpkins. He's doing an agriculture class, so I'm growing pumpkins. So he was.
I can't believe the advice that you get from these guys.
I get a lot of advice. Yeah.
It's crazy. You live in a crazy world.
I know. So he went from growing pumpkins to Amy Bradley and human trafficking.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
It's bizarre. Yeah. All right. So we'll talk next week.
Yeah.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.